Hello, my fellow handicappers. This is Weekend Handicapper from weekendhandicapper.com. In this video, I'm going to provide picks and analysis for the 2021 Jerome Stakes at Aqueduct. It's the new year, so happy new year, everybody. Hopefully you have we got 2020 in the past, hopefully. Hopefully 2021 will be a lot better. You can win a lot of money in horse racing, hopefully. Less times at the ATM, but hopefully 2021 will be a great year for each and every one of you. I appreciate y'all watching this channel all the time and sharing my enjoyment and the challenge of thoroughbred horse racing. All right, so the Jerome Stakes, it's on the road to the Kentucky Derby, so a Derby prep race. And we only got a field of 5. It's race 8 at Aqueduct on Friday, January 1st. They're going a mile. Only 5 horses. Hopefully we could try to find a way to make a profit out of this. But you might be seeing one of the Kentucky Derby horses in this race. So that's kind of cool. That's why I make these videos about these races. Not necessarily because I love betting each and every Derby prep race, because short fields, sometimes heavy favorites win. But at least you're keeping up with the horses that might be in the starting gate on racing's biggest days, or one of the biggest days of the calendar year. So, all right, here we go. Let's take them one by one. Each horse shouldn't take us too long. Shouldn't take us too long, but I ramble a lot, so it might. Who knows? But there's only 5 horses, like I said. And let's start with number 1. Number 1 is Capo Cane. Capo Cane comes from Parks. It was won its last time out. Has this horse been, is it ready to step up its class and take on some more classy horses? That's something to factor in. And even so, I think at 12-1 morning line, which is what this horse is it's worth a shot. It's got the inside post. I like the running style of this horse, so you should give a serious look at Capo Cane. It just broke its maiden last time out, so again, stepping up in class. But at that right price, 12-1, it might be worth taking a shot at. Number 2, Swill, 7-5 morning line. Here we go. Heavy favorite from Brad Cox. It's a consistent horse that can contend for sure. Enough said about that. I try not to focus too much on the favorites, other than how can we beat a chalky 7-5 morning line horse, or can we? So that's the challenge in this race, is seeing if we can beat the number 1 or number 2 horse from Brad Cox. Number 3, Hold the Salsa. I doubt if I'm going to be saying that too much when I'm watching all these football bowl games. I'm not holding nothing until all those bowl games are over with and I've snacked and slacked as much as I wanted to. Then I'll try to get in the shape for New Year's. But number 3, Hold the Salsa, is a closer, which I'm a little bit hesitant about betting this horse, because I don't know if the race shape is going to set up well for a closer in this race. I think on the front end's where you want to be, and it's going to be a tough task for this horse to close in on, I think. Who knows what the jockeys decide to do and how the horses actually run, but on paper, I think it's going to be hard for a closer to win this race. But this horse, Hold the Salsa, number 3, has won at Aqueduct. It's last time out at 7 furlongs. So, hey, doesn't seem to mind the track too much. So if you like the horse for course angle, you have this horse and a couple others that you might use that angle in here. Number 4, Eagle Orb, 9-5, Rudy Rodriguez horse with Manny Franco aboard. Has the highest speed figure in this race. It was second at a mile. It's won at Aqueduct. So there we go. Another horse for course angle. 4 out of his 5 races, it's finished either won the race or came in second. So this is a really good, consistent horse that I'd be hesitant to chuck out. I would probably bet the 4, Eagle Orb, more than I would the 2, Swill. But if you're talking about which favorites to go with, I think I kind of prefer the 4, Eagle Orb. But short price, but definitely a horse with a shot in here. Number 5, Original, 7-2 morning line. Jose Lescano's the jockey. It's another early speed horse. I think that's where you want to be, near the front end. So that's a plus. It's just broke its maiden at Aqueduct. So just like the number 1 horse, is that a good thing or a bad thing? So the way I look at that is that's a big step up. But these horses are so young and so early on in their career, they could keep improving. So I wouldn't say that's too big of a factor. Another factor is the horse is coming off a layoff, the number 5 Original. So if you're hesitant about that, I can kind of understand that or kind of see that. But its trainer, John Terranova, does really well with horses off the layoff, competent trainer. I don't see that being a negative. It's got a nice ROI with horses in that category. So shouldn't mind the distance. So at 7-2 with that early running style, I think that horse offers value and I think has a shot. All right. So how am I going to bet the 2021 Jerome Stakes at Aqueduct? Again, a horse race that is on the road to the Kentucky Derby. Weather shouldn't be a factor. I know in the Remsen, it was muddy, and y'all can watch that video where I talked about a couple horses to bet if it comes up muddy and off track, which it did, and those 2 horses won, and one of them, the winner, paid a nice price. But we don't have to worry about that. I checked the weather. I can only go by on weather forecast, but it looks like just cold, normal Aqueduct weather in the winter, about mid-30s, but it shouldn't have much, if any, precipitation. So it's basically mostly cloudy, mostly sunny, whatever you want to call it. But so you shouldn't worry about an off track. So how am I going to bet this year's Remsen Stakes, or Jerome Stakes, excuse me? Well, I think I'm going to take a shot at short field. The number 1 horse, Capo Cane, sure doesn't have probably the class or the big name trainers and connections, but I think it's running style, and this is the most important thing, it's odds, 12-1. I think gives it a good shot. From its first race to its second race, those speed figures took a huge jump. Well, who's to say that can't happen again? And it can keep improving. Again, if this horse was 8-5, 9-5 morning line, then yeah, I'd be hesitant. But the fact that it's 12-1, I'm sure it's going to get bet down a little bit. That's worth the gamble. That's worth the risk of trying to predict that this horse is going to keep improving. If it does at that price, that's what handicapping and trying to be a successful horse player is all about. Finding those good paying horses, that those 1 or 2 angles that you just take an educated, calculated risk on. So number 1, Capo Cane for sure. Also like the 5 horse Original. Same kind of premises. I like the 1 in the 5, but I hope, because they're both early speed horses, I think they can dictate the pace. They're good value, good prices. I just hope they don't wear each other out, and there's this little speed duel between those 2 early speed horses, because that's about the only early speed there. So they might wear themselves out and set it up for a horse right off the pace or coming about mid-pack or something. So the number 1, Capo Cane, number 5, Original are my 2 top picks. I also like that 4 horse, Eagle Orb. Maybe put that in the exotic. So probably I'll look at when the race comes around, like those exacta probables. I'm definitely going to box the 1 and the 5 in some exactas. Hopefully I can keep that 2 out of there. Hopefully I can keep the 4 out of there. Any other horse out there. Again, my biggest fear is those 2, the 1 and the 5, wearing each other out in the speed duel, and make sure they can get the distance. But I'm going to put the 4 in there too, if those exacta payouts, those exacta probables, are paying okay. So another exacta box I'll probably do is the 1, 4, 5. So put Eagle Orb in there. Hopefully it pays okay. The main objective is to try to beat the number 2 Swill, because that's a heavy favorite. Hopefully the 4 in those exactas with the 1 and the 5 is paying okay. But definitely a win bet on number 1 and probably a win bet, Dutch those two, the 1 and the 5. But definitely the 1 and the 5 are my top choices. Hopefully we can beat the logical horses, which are the 2 and the 4. But to cover myself, if those exacta probables are okay, I'm going to include the 4. So couple things. Win bets on the 1 and the 5. Exacta box 1, 5. Put another exacta box if the probables, if the payouts are paying good, 1, 4, 5. That's how I'm going to bet the 2021 Jerome Stakes at Aqueduct, race 8, Friday, January 1st. I would love to hear who you like in this year's Jerome Stakes. If you have any horses that you like, how you're going to bet it, or if you're going to skip it. And Happy New Year to each and every one of you. Again, I thank y'all so much for tuning into this channel, watching these videos, the comments that you leave. I'm very thankful. Positive, negative comments, I don't care. We're just discussing horse racing. We're trying to make some money in this difficult game, but very challenging game that makes a very fun hobby. So appreciate it. Happy holidays. Happy New Year to each and every one of you. And until next time, this is the Weekend Handicapper. Happy handicapping. Smart wagering.